Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today's December 25th. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Now, right now we're taking a look at the infrared satellite imagery. You're going to have a bit of precipitation clip some of the northern portions of California. We'll take a look at those details, but then we've got a couple more systems rolling through California as we go through the upcoming week. The secondary one next weekend, probably a bit further south, bringing precipitation maybe down to Southern California as well. This is the last 7 days, and again, pointing this out one last time, the nice beneficial rain we had moving down the state, some pretty extreme amounts across some areas northwest, Santa Barbara, Ventura County out there, and some nice amounts across Arizona and New Mexico as well. Taking a look at this is the National Weather Service, I believe Sacramento here pointing this out, dreaming of a white Christmas, and here's how often it's happened. You can see Sacramento never, Redding, it's had a trace, and it looks like 48, some actual measurable snowfall fell, but it's the only one there. You can see Stockton and Modesto. I mean, obviously not a common phenomenon here, and it's not going to happen this year, but just thought I'd point that out since the National Weather Service did. Wind advisory, 7 p.m. Tuesday to 7 p.m. Wednesday. Eureka, California, National Weather Service. Check out some of the gusty winds across some of the higher terrain and the coastal areas here up towards Crescent City, forecasting 52 miles per hour. So heads up for that. This was issued this morning, hot off the presses, 6:37 a.m. And also we have that 1-2 punch coming in here. You got some heavy rain and gusty winds at times here, and then continuing that on, some active weather as we go through the end of the week here, coming for much of the state. Now look at this, hazardous beach conditions on Christmas Day. You see about Big Sur northbound to north of Santa Rosa there anyway, and you can see 10 to 12 feet expected here. So if you spend Christmas Day out on the beaches out there, heads up for that. This goes through 7 p.m. tonight. We've got some interesting wave action rolling in here over the next few days as well, with some strong low pressure systems off the coastline. National Weather Service Los Angeles actually bringing this to the attention here too of everybody, and you can see Friday through Saturday bringing some additional rainfall here down towards Southern California. Of course, these systems can be quite fickle, so we'll watch this over the next few days. Taking a look at the 2 rounds of rain after Christmas for the Bay Area. Check it out. Here's the first one there, and then you can see the next one coming through this weekend. So it could be a nice rainmaker for some areas also. Again, mostly beneficial rainfall here. We'll check it out to see if this trends up or down, to see if it might start to include some flooding concerns. Taking a look at the NAM3 cam, this is a high-resolution model. That stands for North American model. Here's the state of California, and this is what the Doppler radar should look like here as we go through the day today and over the next couple of days. You can see some of this precip as we go through the evening, nighttime hours tonight, kind of clipping northwest California here. And then as we scroll on in towards the midweek period, you'll see the next storm system start to arrive off here. It's going to be a stronger storm for California and perhaps bringing some nice rainfall amounts all the way down towards the Bay Area. This would end about Wednesday, 4 p.m. here on December 28th, and that's where the North American model ends. Now, taking a look at the European significant wave height and direction, and put this into motion. We'll scroll on in through the day today, some increased wave action, but then we get some bigger waves here rolling in on the 27th. Check it out. Probably sweeping down all the way towards Southern California as we go on in through the 28th. And you can see additional potential wave action here as we go towards the end of the month also. So heads up for that, especially if you are out and about on the coastline and it coincides with high tide activity. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station, click on that link down below to save 10% off. All solar powered, all wireless, ultrasonic anemometer. It even does UV index. Now, looking at the upper levels of the atmosphere, general ridge and trough position. This is the European as of last night. There's the Hawaiian Islands to the bottom left. There's California. So put this into motion. You can see the system moving through the Pacific Northwest. And then our better rainmaker here comes mainly Central Coast northbound here on and through the midweek period. And then the one that comes through the weekend, potentially bringing bigger impacts across the state all the way down through Southern California there and wet as well. And we'll continue to watch off through the extended forecast there also for some continued troughing out over the Pacific Ocean. Now, looking at the GFS, this is 6-hour precipitation type and sea level pressure. And the red and blue lines are 850 millibar temperature, about 5,000 feet, but that's not too important on this map. You can see the next system as we go through the midweek period. Again, Central Coast northbound with that first one, and then probably a more dynamic frontal system, as you can see, sweeps down and probably includes some of Southern California. The GFS is not as bullish as the European, is bringing precipitation that far south. However, Now, looking at the European control run, I want to show you this because this is a bit interesting as well. So we look into the first system there. You can see the impacts here as we go through about December 28th, the morning hours. And then as we scroll on in towards the weekend, this will be Friday afternoon, the next system would be arriving. And you can see the European definitely much more favorable for some precipitation down through Southern California here, across the Sierra Nevada, not bad amounts there, and Central Coast area as well. And this ends right there at about December 30th, about 10 p.m. Now, looking at total snow, 10-to-1 ratio, we do have a couple rounds of snow coming for the Sierra Nevada here. You can see the first one, maybe a few inches, not a huge snowmaker, better amounts across Northern California. And this we go towards the weekend, we could get some better snow potential down towards the central and southern Sierra as well. Maybe even some snow for the highest terrain of Southern California's peaks. Now, looking at that jet extension we've been talking about, you can see it is here. It is out over the Pacific Ocean. But as I mentioned here, it doesn't favor every single area along the west coast. Right now, the storms are kind of setting off shop Pacific Northwest here. Some deep lows are out there, but they're not that progressive here, and they're bringing some precipitation and some wintry mix up there. But for the most part, I'll put this into motion. You can see the next round of weather here as we go towards the weekend emerges. As we go right there, you see that trough emerging. That's going to be pushing towards the coast of California here, there. And again, there is some disagreement on that storm between the GFS and the European. And we're going to be breaking that down here over the next few days, just see what kind of impacts we do expect with that. And then as we scroll off into the future, you can kind of see how that jet stream gets a little more squirrely out there, and we don't have that jet extended across the Pacific Ocean there. So we'll be watching that off into the future as well. This is off into the new year. Now, looking at the 6 to 10 day precipitation probability outlook, you can see it still does include California. This goes through January 3rd. This goes through the 7th. You can see the Southwest and much of California, all of California included in the above average signal there. And they haven't updated this yet as well. I wanted to see if this actually has any noticeable effect on the vegetation drought response, that last storm that rolled down across the area. But hopefully the next two rounds of precipitation can also bring some beneficial rainfall. And if you missed that, over the last few days, I've been mentioning this. This is December 21st, monthly precipitation outlook for January. You can see it does favor a lot of the Southwest and all of the state of California. And the monthly temperature outlook still looking at the above average conditions for January here along the West Coast. Now, looking at the European, this is the El Nino anomaly plume, and you can see we're into that strong El Nino as we speak. But look at that rapidly dying El Nino by the time we go in towards spring, and maybe neutral or La Nina conditions re-emerging next year. Probably hear some chatter about that on social media, so just kind of getting out ahead of that stuff. But yeah, pretty typical here. You know, you go through a strong El Nino, and then it kind of flips back towards neutral conditions usually, maybe even La Nina. So anyway, yeah, we're going to have a couple storms here rolling through midweek and next weekend. Here we'll continue to break that down. I'm actually heading out to the Hawaiian Islands out here for the next week or so, but I will bring my setup out there. I plan on doing the daily briefings every single day out there. So yeah, so we will just continue to do that. We'll break down these storms. We'll see what's coming on into the future here. And I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.